At the end of previous lecture, we introduced the group method, and we show you some example. So you can see here your corn. You can do the group according to the flavor, so only one argument. So by default, they give you the count for each group. But also you can add more things. So if you add the second argument, they will do this one, like the function NP average. So they will apply this NP average function on all other column. But for this example, we only have the price column. So then you can do the np.mini. So then you will have only the minima for different group. But also the second argument also you can change is the count, how they display. So that's why here that's add. We add a couple more columns. So here if we do the length, you will still display the second one, but it tells you the length of the price. That means how many different price. And also you can give them the sum. Then they give you in that group all the total. So that will be the, because the bubble gum you only have one. So then the rest of that you have chocolate, you have three. So they add all the together for the price. Then if you want, you can give them the list. Okay, so what is the list? They show you all the data in that group. Okay, so you can see the list. They're using the square brackets. They show you all different ones. So that's the group function. And we will see more example. That's use the group function on the table we talked about in the first 2 weeks. That's the SP22 survey. So you can see they have more column we have. So then we have introversion. Then you have the hand list and also sleep position and how many hours you sleep. So then according to this survey, how about we just do the histogram according to the actual version. If you only create a histogram, so they just automatically put that in the different bin. But now how about we try to group? So we want to see more by the survey. We group the actual version. Then we want to see other column for all their average. Also we see the by extra table. So you can see here when you group by a specific column, then the rest of the column, if you still want to show, you also can do some calculation and manipulate that. So here you can see in different group. So then you can see the number for the average for that group. So this one actually we can do more analysis. For example, you want to see the different group for actual version. Do they have kind of their tax average? We see how the trend it is. So we just plot that two column. So that's two numeric number, and here you kind of have the order. So that's why we will plot a line chart. Wow, so we do see the actual version. You see when they be higher, they did tax more. So back to our lecture file. So earlier we talked about list. So let's quickly introduce list. What are lists? So list actually is still the sequence number, a sequence value. So a list is a sequence of value. It's similar to an array, but the value can be different types. So they can be number, can be string, can be, you see here is other columns. So that's return you. Since you do the column, they will return you. Actually this one is return the table because you create a table. So that's why a list, they can have the sequence value, but different than the array. Array only have sequence value with the same data type. List can be used for any data type. So the list can be used to create table rows or not. Yes, they can. Why? Because remember, table rows, that's each row is individual. Each individual has the value for all columns. All columns, we are not sure they are the same table. So if we want to know the content of each row in the table, we will return a list. If you create a table column from a list, so table column is what? Table column need to be the same data type. If you really want to import a list on that, they will be converted to an array automatically. Also, then they will see the data type. If they can convert, they will just convert right away. So that's a list. So list we will use for this class, but just quickly to show you the definition. So we see the example for the list. So you can see when you create the list using the square bracket, so then you can have the sequence value. So then you can see even you can add the list array to the list. Okay, so that's why here you have 1, 5, and string, then integer, string, and double. So here again, the array is 1, 2, 3. They are not giving you the 1, 2, 3. They give you this next element is really an array. Right? Okay, so that's a list. A list you can contain all different kind of data type. Before we finish this lecture, I will give you more example about the grouping. Okay, so the grouping, we call this one is cross classification. That means we can group according to one label, one column. But can we do more than one column? Okay, so here, before we show you that, I think I should give you more example. Yeah, we say we can group, right? So according to our survey, that's group the handedness. Okay, so we group only one column. Yeah, we have 3 different groups. They can be both hands, or left-handed, or right-handed. And we can see their sleep position. Okay, so you have different sleep position. They have 4 different groups on stomach, left side, right side, or on your back. So sometimes you wonder, do right-handed people tend to sleep on their left-hand side, and left-handed people sleep on their right-hand side more? So that means not only your handedness. So your left-hand side want to see the left-hand side how much they sleep on their left side. So when you have 2 columns, actually we can cross-reference. But earlier we told you if you want to do the group, by default you have only one argument. So one argument, if you passing only one column, that's okay. If you want to pass two columns, they still need to meet the function, how we define the function. So right, if you want to cross-reference for 2 columns in the group, you still can only have one parameter. So this argument, like we say, you have multiple columns. So we kind of using the square bracket. So this one actually, right, we passing a list on that. So after we passing a list on that, they will close to this list. You have multiple columns. So the first one, handedness, you have 3 groups. So sleep position, you have 4 groups. So each group, you have all the group from the second column. So they have 3 times 4, you have 12 different rows. So then, since you do the group, right, so that's how they count it for you. But of course, right, we say group. After you passing the first argument, if you give them the second argument, we either can change how the count display, or you can see how you want to process other column value. So for example, we have the 2 column group. How about we want to know the average for the rest of column? Right, so here your group. Then this first one is passing 2 label name is the first parameter. The second parameter we pass in the average function. Oh yeah, survey. So then we see we have all the average on the rest of the data. So since we have all the average for other columns, so we back to our discussion question. Okay, so they ask you, do right-handed people tend to sleep on their left-hand side? Oh, sorry, they said left-hand side. This one should be right-hand side. Oh, so opposite actually. So the right-handed people tend to sleep on their left-hand side, and left-handed people sleep on their right. So we see here. Okay, so they are opposite. So left-hand side sleep on the right. Also, this one is here, a little more than 7 hours. So then, but you can see here, but other hours, yeah, other position, they are not really longer, or yeah, actually on the stomach even longer. Okay, so then the right-hand sided, do they sleep more on their left-handed? Okay, so yeah, this one, yeah, since they are all very similar hours, yeah, so we are not really can see quite difference from that. Yeah, or you can see more to observe this table. Do you find any other interesting information you want to discover? So you can play with that. So in our lecture video, we show you different way to use different function, but we not show you all the way how to process or analyze your data. So since you have your Jupyter notebook, feel free to discuss with your classmates. If you feel we left out something, yeah, just try on the Jupyter notebook and see what you find. And like earlier, when we do the prediction, we have we use the parents' average height to predict on the children. We have the female children and the male children. So then maybe you can see how about we just have the mom height, how they affect on the children's height. Something like that. Feel free to do more on the data set, the table we provide you on your Jupyter notebook. So after lecture 10, you can work on your lab exercise 4. So our lab exercise, remember that's a peer work. Feel free to discuss your classmates, but everyone should submit your own work. And next week, we will release our first project. The same thing is feel free to find a partner or your group, exercise peer group, to work together and discuss for your project as well. Yeah, so that's our lecture.